How is it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Ethan Bridge. I'm host of the Social Media Marketing School podcast and the guy behind the Instagram page at The Marketing Ethan. Now, today, I want to talk about how you can succeed as a small creator on Instagram. And when it comes to it, there are three main pillars. Number one being community, number two being content, and number three being consistency. The 3 C's. And they work in a cycle. And it's those 3 pillars that we are going to go through in detail in today's podcast episode. So without any further ado, let's just dive straight into the first pillar, which is community. On social media, you need to become part of a community if you want to build a community of your own. When you first start on Instagram, for example, nobody knows who you are. The algorithm doesn't know who you are. Your potential followers don't even know you exist yet. So it comes down to you becoming part of a community so that you then become known to a wider group of people. Now, that's very good me saying that, but how do you actually join a community? Let's go through some different ways that you can do just this. Number one, and I think it's the most obvious, we've spoken about it in a bunch of different podcast episodes, and that is engagement. You need to engage with a range of different people. If you go back a few podcast episodes, I've released one called Building the Perfect Social Media Engagement Strategy. Listen over that podcast episode, and once you're done, you will completely understand how and who you need to be engaging with on the platform. But if you don't engage with anyone, you cannot expect to become part of the community that you engage with. Number two, you could join lives. You need to be participating in the lives of other creators. It's simple, just hijack them. And when I say hijack, I don't mean ruin them. I just mean jump in there, show people that you exist, ask some questions, throw some comments in about what the person's talking about. If anybody's asking questions within the comments feed, reply to them. Interact with others. Because most of the day, there'll be someone that you follow going live. So just jump in all of these different lives. Their most common audience members, who are the ones that are going to be watching their lives, will see that you exist, potentially go over to your page and begin following you. It's just another form of engagement that you need to be doing. Another point, and this is one of my favorite ones, guest posts. This is where you create a piece of content for another creator for them to post on their account. But because you've created the piece of content for them, they give you credit and tell their audience to follow you at the end. So do this with other people. I would almost say create the post before you even ask them to do a guest post. If you send these people a message saying, look, here's a carousel that I've created for you. I'd love if that we can make this a guest post on your page. What are the chances? And because you've already created this piece of content, and this piece of content must be incredibly high quality, better than the content you create on your own page. Otherwise, people aren't going to want to post it on their page. It needs to correspond with their branding and the niche they create content for. But if you are collaborating with other creators, I assume that they are in the same niche as you in the first place. But if you go in advance, having created a piece of content for this person, they're going to look at that and go, that avoids me having to create a piece of content for that day. Great. You are saving them time. And time is one of the most valuable assets we all have as humans. So if you can save someone an hour by creating them a post, and they don't even have to think about it because you've already done it for them, great. Most of the time they're going to go, yeah, fine, let's do a guest post. Now what you're doing when you do a guest post is you are now leveraging that other person's audience and bringing them to your own. And this person could have however many followers. They may have a ton of followers. If you're a great designer and you create phenomenal content, then why wouldn't they want to post it? You may not have the audience yourself, but if the content's phenomenal, then it's a no-brainer. So try collaborating with others. It doesn't necessarily have to be a guest post. You can do a collaboration post where 2 creators talk about a same topic, and then at the end of each, you recommend all of your viewers to go and check out each other's to learn more about a specific topic. So collaboration posts and guest posts are another great way to build community. Something that I also did very early on. As you grow, this becomes less sustainable, but send a DM thanking all of your new followers. Because when you send a DM thanking people for following you, that engages a conversation. And when you start engaging a conversation, that's when you begin to build a real relationship with these people. People will then consistently come back and engage with your content, share you with others, possibly share you on their stories so that then you get more followers. It's all about you thinking about ways you can build real connections and relationships with people to make this a proper community. So send DMs to everyone that follows you initially. As you grow, this will become unsustainable because you will essentially have far too many messages juggling around to be able to keep this up. But whilst you can very early on, I would suggest starting conversations with everybody that follows you, just so you can find out about who they are as people and show genuine interest. Simple as that. And finally, I'd also make sure that you are posting interactive Instagram stories, polls, quizzes, questions, the slider one for ratings, you name it. All of these things get people to engage with you. You can find out about them, and again, you can reach out to them and message them depending on how they interacted with your stories. Build real connections, let people know who you are, do collaborations, participate in everything, and you will build a community, and that is the first pillar you need to focus on. Pillar number 2, your content. At the end of the day, your content is the reason people will follow you. Depending on your niche, they are there for a specific reason. So for me, social media marketing. I am known as the person that talks about social media marketing. And because I've built that community, if people need to find out about tips for social media marketing, the people that follow me may suggest me to others because I've made myself known for a specific piece of content. And that's why picking a niche is quite important, because you want to become known for something. Now, the content you produce, yes, needs to cater to the needs and wants of your audience most of the time. Most of the time, because sometimes it's good to experiment. If you don't ever experiment, you may not find this new form of content that is ridiculously successful and could potentially be that viral piece of content you've been looking for. I'll share an example. Gary Vee. People see him as the motivational business entrepreneurial guy. He is a multi-millionaire. Yet he posted a piece of content about him going to a garage sale, picking up items for $1, $2, and then flipping them on eBay. How on earth does a man who earns as much money as he does and services clients at the level he does have time to go to a garage sale and then flip items that he finds there for $1 to $2 and then sell them on eBay? It's crazy. And a lot of people, when he first released that piece of content, thought, why on earth are you doing this? You are the guy that is a multi-millionaire and you service some of the biggest brands in the world. Yet, he did experiment with this piece of content. And now it's become one of his most successful series of video that he's posted. It's brought in millions upon millions of views. It showed the real him. It showed that he still has love for the roots of the game, the roots of business, and people appreciated that. They saw a different side to him, and it worked. But he would never have found out that that piece of content worked if he didn't experiment in the first place. So yes, the majority of the time you should always make sure that your content caters to the needs and the wants and the problems of your audience. But every now and again, give yourself the chance to experiment. The experimentation posts may be awful, but they may be the next piece of big content that goes viral and you become known for and completely propels your journey as a creator on the platform. So majority of the time, needs and wants. Some of the time, make sure you're experimenting. But another point I would like to sort of mention is that a lot of people throw out there that you need to be trying all of these different content formats: video, carousels, single image, reels, stories. Yes. Find out what you're good at. Experiment with all of them initially. But if you want to really succeed, you don't have to post everything. It does help, but you could just master one specific content type. You may try everything and realize that there is one specific content type you are incredible at. And if you're incredible at one piece of content, let's assume carousels, then why would you waste potential reach producing other pieces of content when you know for a fact that posting a carousel every single day is going to get you ridiculous reach relative to what another piece of content would have done? It's almost silly on your part. Social media is an attention game. You want to get as much attention as possible. So, yes, I would say you do need to try everything to find out what you enjoy most and what you are best at, and then you can tailor and master that one specific type of content and be known for that. So yes, I agree that you should try everything, but I disagree that you need to do everything to succeed. Find what you're good at, master it, run with it. And then you can implement the experimentation posts, like I said. But that wraps up pillar number 2. Pillar number 2 is content. Now, pillar number 3, consistency. There's no good use of having community and content if you aren't consistent. I believe that the main thing that contributed to my success on Instagram was the fact that I set out from day one on a 90-day content challenge. I made sure that I posted content every single day for 90 days and engaged religiously every single day with other people. They say that it takes on average 66 days to form a habit. So at first, when you're doing this content strategy, these 90 days, you will find it hard because you haven't done it before. You'll find creating content daily difficult because it is. But when you get the strategies in place, it gets easier and easier and easier. And because you're doing it every single day, you also get better and better and better. So then it gets easier and easier and easier, and you get better and better and better. It's a simple cycle. But as soon as you do reach around that 66-day mark, it becomes habit. It does just become easy. I couldn't go a day now without doing it because it's just normal to me. I don't find it hard anymore, and I love it. I love every second of it. But if I wasn't consistent initially, I do not think I would be at the point I am at today. I have not missed a single day of posting since I started my account. And as of the recording of this episode, I am 218 days into this journey. 218 days straight of content creation, engagement, everything, community building. And that is what I dedicate my success to. If I wasn't consistent, I wouldn't have seen that success. So I seriously encourage you guys, if you aren't already, to set out on a content challenge. 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, you pick. I would suggest 2 of the latter, the 60-day or 90-day, because you will see more results. It's unlikely that you will see the results in the first 30 days. You will see progress. But until you do the 90-day content challenge or 120, I don't know, it could be any number you want. That is when you'll begin to see the results because long term you've been putting in the work. Every single day, it's unlikely that you will see the progress because that's just how things are. It's invisible to you. But when you get 90 days in or 120 days in, you'll be able to look back and just see how far you've come. Not just with regards to follower growth, but the size of the community you've built, the real connections you may have, the quality of your content. I have left all of my posts up from day one. Scroll to the bottom of my page and you will see how bad my content was initially. But I made sure I stuck it out. And now I think my content is pretty good. I'm pretty proud of the content I'm producing now. But I'll probably look back at this content in a year's time and go, oh my God, that was awful. Why did people enjoy consuming that? It's just the cycle of improvement. So you've got those 3 pillars now. Community, content, consistency. But now you need to keep doing them. Keep it going. It's a cycle. Community, content, consistency. Back to community, you always need to be engaging. Back to content, you need to be improving that content. Back to the consistency, you always need to be consistent. And it goes on and on. And you started off as a small creator, but because you've built that community, because you've improved that content over time, because you've been consistent with it, your account will grow. You will attract clients. And you will create incredible connections. So now you need to take action and go and do it. And that wraps up today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy today's video, I would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and turned on post notifications. That way you will never miss a video when I post one. But I did just want to mention that this is a part of my podcast series, Social Media Marketing School, and the audio version of the podcast is the place to be because I actually release this content a little bit sooner over there than I do here on YouTube. So I will leave some links to that in the description, so make sure you are subscribing. But if you've got any questions with regards to anything I've mentioned in today's episode, please just reach out to me on Instagram at @themarketingethan. Send me a DM and I'll make sure I get back to you no matter what. But if you have made it to this point in the video, I just want to finish off by saying thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.